Sadly, on July 27th, 2022, I received the worst news that a parent doesn't want to hear, that my newly 20-year-old daughter, Kayla Hamilton, was murdered in her own room and left on the floor like trash. The illegal MS-13 known gang member brutally raped and murdered my daughter by strangling her with a cord and robbed her of $6. Let's take a moment and think about how Kayla felt that day, how scared she must have been that day knowing that she was dying. If she was going to see her mommy again, her baby sister, her brother, or her cat Oreo. Kayla fought for her life that day with all that she had. And in the end, she lost to an individual that wasn't even supposed to be allowed in the country.
That's heartbreaking. And that was also our next guest, Tammy Nobles, whose daughter was killed by an illegal immigrant gang member, testifying last Thursday in front of a House impeachment inquiry into Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who did not even have the courtesy to attend.
Tammy joins us now, along with the owner and managing partner of the Claypool law firm, Brian Claypool. Tammy, I saw your testimony while you were giving it, and it was just heartbreaking. And I can't imagine how difficult it was for you to stand up there, especially when Mayorkas didn't even bother to show up. But most importantly, tell us about your daughter, Kayla. Tell us more about what happened and how she ended up being a victim to this illegal gang member.
Kayla was a very sweet and loving young lady. She loved to laugh. She had a great outlook on life. She was living in a small town in Aberdeen, Maryland, and this MS-13 gang member ended up getting apprehended at the border, and they did not check his background. They did not check his body. He had a criminal record in El Salvador in 2020. And he was allowed to go with this unverified person, unverified sponsor, and he ended up in Maryland. And there was an illegal immigrant who was renting out rooms in trailers, and he ended up renting a room from her, and she picked Kayla's trailer, and he wasn't living there no more than 5 days before he brutally murdered and raped my daughter and just left her on the floor.
That's heartbreaking. Again, Tammy, I can't begin to express our condolences to you that this has happened. Brian, I'll get to you in a second, but Tammy, I want to ask you another question, and that is, what has to change? We know a lot of this chaos here at the border, people getting through unchecked, largely due to failed policy or acting by the Biden administration here. What has to change?
Somebody has to be accountable. They have to do their job. Just do your job. I would like to see everyone properly vetted and background checked. Whoever is coming across here, they could have checked, but they failed her. They neglected to do their job. And now, because of them not doing their job, I don't have a daughter anymore.
Yeah, Tammy, again, absolutely heartbreaking again. And simply, Brian, because people are not doing their job. Also, this administration is not even admitting that anything is wrong. And on that note, I do want you to take a listen to this.
Our approach to managing the borders securely and humanely, even within our fundamentally broken immigration system, is working.
Would you agree, Brian? I know you are representing Tammy in her lawsuit, of course, understandably. Do you agree with Secretary Mayorkas?
Hey, Katrina, thanks for having us. The reason we're bringing a $100 million lawsuit against Homeland Security is because of exactly what you just saw on that screen, a flat-out categorical lie. The border is not secure. Mayorkas is not doing a great job. And this isn't even about left or right, Katrina. It's about two words: human decency. We need federal political leadership that has a heart, that they care about people. I'm a single father of a teenage daughter. A 20-year-old got murdered here. It could have been your daughter, it could have been all of your viewers' kids who were murdered by this illegal immigrant. And we're tired of allowing the government to play Russian roulette with our kids' lives and our lives. So we filed this lawsuit based on the fact that DHS failed to comply with their own rudimentary protocol, Katrina. All they had to do, it was simple, was lift the shirt of this kid trying to cross the border, and they would have seen a tattoo that reflects his association with an MS-13 gang in El Salvador. Then guess what? He's disqualified. He goes back. Kayla lives to get married and have a child. And then the second thing is they just had to make a phone call to the El Salvador consulate. And guess what? This guy's name was on that list. It's that simple. Had they done that, Kayla would be alive and we wouldn't be here today.
Tammy, I know this is a tough question here, but if you were able to speak directly to or could get moments alone with or in the company with Mayorkas or Biden, what would be the message you would say to them?
I would show them pictures of my daughter. I would have them watch her videos, and I would tell them what I had to go through to plan for her funeral. I picked out a white dress for her to wear, and the funeral director said, we only have one time to make this right. She couldn't even wear the dress. She had to wear a granny dress because she had to have her arms covered and her neck covered. And the only thing that we saw at her private viewing was just her head and her hands. Everything else had to be covered.
Tammy, is there anything that President Biden or Secretary Mayorkas could possibly say back to you in that scenario that would heal your heart at least a little bit?
I don't think anything can be said to heal what I'm going through. What I would like for them to do is to change what is going on at the border. That is the only thing to help prevent this from happening to someone else's child. By action, not by words.
Again, actions speak louder than words. Wise words that my grandmother always said to me. Tammy Nobles, again, we appreciate your candor, your honesty, and your strength. And our hearts and prayers and love goes out to you and your family, and of course to the memory of your beautiful Kayla. Thank you so much. And Brian Claypool, also good luck in that lawsuit, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.